One day after coronavirus relief negotiations fell apart in Congress. So in the meantime, there are millions of people, especially Texans, who are unemployed due to the pandemic and they need help. Joining us this morning is Cleo Childress, a financial educator here in North Texas. Cleo, it's not every day I get to interview, let alone know someone named Cleo as well.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And yes, when I see the name Cleo and say the name Cleo, it's kind of weird because it's like, hey, that's my name.
That's my name. Exactly. So let's talk about what happened here. Why did the president have to sign these executive orders?
Yeah, so he had to step in and sign those orders because the Congress and the White House, they could not come to an agreement. So on Friday, August the 7th, that was that final day they had before they would go to recess for the month of August to make that decision, but they could not come to an agreement. So he stepped in and felt what he felt that these Americans should have. So for example, the unemployment benefits. So he stated it would be that extension of $400 instead of the $600. And the negotiations may resume on Monday for the stimulus. But as of right now, there are a lot of Americans who are very frustrated because they're still in mode and they're wondering, when is this decision going to happen? So it's still a waiting game to see what will officially happen. But he did step in since there was not an agreement reached on Friday.
So is it safe to say that at this point we know that the $600 extra benefits expired? So now will the $400 go into play?
Yeah, so that is the actual goal that he's seeking, is that instead of it being the 600, that it would be the 400. Now, in those negotiations, all sides were in agreement with extending the unemployment benefit insurance, but it was a debate about how much should it be. Should it still be 600? Should it be 400? And there are even some that says, no, it should be $200. But some are stating that, even though we are still in this pandemic and the recession, the $200 is still not enough because there are people who are still looking for work. Yes, there are companies out there that are hiring, but still people are finding difficulty getting the that they actually need. And then it's not just the amount of work available, but it's cost of living as well. There are certain expenses that has increased due to the pandemic. Food is more expensive. There's a lot of essential items that families need that are more expensive as well. So those are things to consider during this time.
Cleo, there's some language out there about back to work bonuses. What does that mean?
Yeah, so the back to work bonuses is an incentive for employees, so unemployed people who either were laid off earlier during the beginning of the pandemic. So it's like an incentive to get back to work, basically. So for people who to either secure a new job or to actually be rehired at their previous employer instead of staying on the unemployment, because there was a lot of concern with the $600 unemployment benefit. Some felt that it was just too much, it was too generous, excessive. Some people were earning more on unemployment than they were when they were working. So giving that back to work bonus, you're back to working, plus you get your regular wage or your salary, but you also get an extra bonus for a period of weeks. It would just be temporary, but it would just be an incentive for people to get back to work instead of staying on employment until those benefits are ran out. But it's not in the bill's proposal, so we're still waiting to see if that is something that would be included in the final bill that's approved.
Right. It's literally like a waiting game. So let's say another stimulus check does get approved. What are you advising your clients? What should they do with this next check?
Yeah, so if they do get that next check, the first thing is to think about is your needs versus wants. So you want to make sure you're taking care of your basic living expenses. What do I need to survive first? I need food, I need shelter, I need water, electricity, and I need transportation. I need a way to get to work when I do find a job. And even if I don't have a vehicle where I'm paying a car note or putting gas in it, you still need money for public transportation or paying for Uber, Lyft ride, or paying for friends and family to take you where you need to go. So you need to think about things that you need each day to survive. And especially when it comes to food, for example, this is not to say eating out every day, because that can add up and get really expensive, but just thinking about your basic food expenses. And if you feel that you are good in those areas and you're great, then you have to think about, well, how can I elevate my financial lifestyle? How can I actually do better? So either saving, investing, or giving to someone else that may be more in need.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Cleo. Before we go, how can people connect with you?
Yes, they can connect with me at Cleo Yoga Finance on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And my website is cleoyogafinance.com, and also through email at hello@cleoyogafinance.com.
Perfect. It's still so weird to see your name, but I love it. Thank you so much for joining us, Cleo. A pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
All right, straight ahead.